How do you know if you can handle or would enjoy drugs? That's kind of a personal decision, but not one to be taken lightly. You can never forget that once you've tried drugs, once you know what they feel like, you can't forget that. Um, so if it's something you really, really enjoy but really, really shouldn't do, you're shit out of luck. You're just gonna always know what it's like to be on it. You can quit, but no one really ever forgets what it's like. Now the rest of these are rules for drug use itself. One, you should be an adult before trying them, but don't experiment before 16. Your brain is developing until your early 20s. You got to give it time and encourage your brain to blossom. It's your job to be the most you that you can be, and that includes keeping your faculties. Two, don't try a drug if you're not willing to live the worst case scenario. That's for things like, especially heroin, meth, things like that, cocaine. Do your due diligence. Don't try a drug just because you like other drugs. Um, yeah, this one really, I'm a firm believer in, and I think, yeah, you should watch all the horror stories. Um, See all the stereotypes associated with it, and make your decision from there. That way, you don't just try it first and then decide if you like it. Drugs are great. You're gonna like almost every drug, so make sure you want to be on it before you're actually on it. Yeah. Always go by the worst case scenarios because you have to assume that's what's going to happen to you. Murphy's Law and all. Now, number three, don't judge people for doing or not doing drugs. That's none of your business. Do judge junkies and elitists. They suck. Um, do use discernment, though, in deciding who to hang out with. Four, don't keep doing drugs constantly. Know when you can't get any higher, and yeah, just enjoy it. You don't need to do more. Yeah, George Carlin said that. He said the only thing you do when you're doing drugs when you're already high is wasting drugs, or some paraphrasing of that. Yeah, yeah. Um, Number five, ride the crash sometimes. Don't fight it every time, even if you still have some dope. Learn to time the crash, to budget your dope. Learn about the cycles of use and plan around them. What I mean by that is learn the ups and downs. Yeah, learn how long you're going to crash versus how much you did. Budget yourself a little to get you through the crash. Um, yeah, write it out. Number six, don't try to learn these things on your own. Find a role model. Well, try to learn them on your own, but ultimately find a role model, one well versed in the ins and the outs of using. One who has their shit together, can manage jobs and relationship, and they know about the dosing and the delivery methods for each drug. Number seven, remember to pay attention to yourself and your thought processes while you're sober and while you're high. You want to compare the two. Being able to compare sober you versus high you is invaluable in self-development. You want to compare the two. You want to be able to shift perspective slightly so as to compare to compare the two states. That's what drugs are for, really, is to give you some outside perspective on yourself. Yeah, so be mindful. Number eight, drugs overuse or indiscriminate use can ruin lives. Respect that. If you feel yourself losing control, tell your role model and quit. All of the drugs, if need be. There's nothing wrong with quitting, especially if you find out that you need to. You should have a role model to help you quit just as well as you had one to start. Don't steal to support your habit. Oh, number 9 is don't steal to support your habit. You may deal, but you should always work, have a job, and supply what you can afford from that. People with no job, other than dealers, dealing can be your job if you do it right. But people with no job and who still carry on any kind of habit are thieves. The thieves are the worst sort. It's possible to be a good person and a thief, but those that steal or even don't steal but still don't provide their own are inherently bad. 11. Don't continually test the bounds of dosage. Find a safe amount that gives you what you need and is manageable, and stick with that. If the same amount no longer does the trick, don't increase the dose, increase the time between trying that same amount. Don't do more. Yeah, it's a drag, but it's better in the long run. Or switch drugs for a while. The same if you're burdened by fiending. If you're fiending out, it's your responsibility not to spend too much time or permanently going into junkie mode. You want to stay away from being a junkie. I mean, everybody slips into junkie mode sometimes, but you don't want to stay there or dwell there. Number 12, there's an inherent difference between a junkie and a loadie. You can be a loadie, no problem, but make sure not to be more than a temporary junkie. There's great shame in this and a little crime, honestly. Junkie is a person who has lost control. Control of their actions, control of their dosage, of life in general. Junkies usually have a drug of choice that they focus on. A loadie is a person who just prefers a buzz to being sober. They usually don't have a drug of choice, but sometimes they do. And they'll do any of a group of available choices, usually, just to keep a good buzz going. Usually a maintainable dose with only occasional and deliberate high dosing. One can slip into and out of both modes, but not everyone is a loadie and no one should stay a junkie. 13. One of the goals of successful drug use is that no one who doesn't know better should be able to guess that you use. Not suggesting that anyone should be in the closet. It's a terrible place to be stuck, but not making it obvious should be the goal. 14. You have the responsibility to be helpful as far as drugs go. Don't rip off or exploit people who look to you as a role model. Help people who want to quit. Don't rub it in their face or by your actions make them fiend or cause them to fiend. Quitting is very difficult and it's sometimes required. You want to help with that. Never pressure someone to try something or keep doing something that they don't want to do, even if they might want to in the moment. That's just not cool. 15. As long as they're helpful, stay in touch with people that you get high with. Even if you stop or if they stop, they can be good friends. If they don't help you with your sobriety, they're probably junkies anyway. And you want to quickly abandon those that don't want to help you on your own path. And likewise, you want to help on others. I think that's actually, all I got for now. Wow, 30 minutes. This one stretched on. Maybe I'll edit it a little. But have fun. Keep your stick on the ice.